You went inside the room, Mr. Musharraf wrote something, then you gave it to Prime Minister.
That's right. So if you remember the morning, that particular morning, it was an interview, a breakfast meeting that Musharraf did with about 35 editors and senior editors of newspapers, and NDTV released that footage. And it was playing out on television while the Prime Minister was sitting and talking to Musharraf and wasn't aware of this. So Brijesh Mishra, Principal Secretary to the PM, then he asked me to go in and inform the Prime Minister. So he jotted down some things and I had them typed up. I wrote a few things describing and basically saying that it's playing out on television. Musharraf has said such things about Kashmir, such things about terrorism. And I went in and walked into the room. The two leaders stopped their conversation, looked at me, and I told the Prime Minister there's something important. He looked at the paper and I walked out. After that, he looked at the paper and said, General Saab, ye aapne kya kiya? And he said, words to the effect that this had spoiled the atmospherics. And because of that, from that point onwards, the summit went downhill.
But you also referred that it's not a failure, not a complete failure. Vajpayee got to know a lot of things about them.
Exactly. So I make that argument that it was part of Vajpayee's journey to Islamabad and in 2004 when he signed an actual peace document, a document which guaranteed that Pakistan would not use terror against India. But to get to that space, he needed to understand the mind of the dictator. So it was a process that Agra helped in Vajpayee understanding Musharraf better. And it possibly helped Musharraf understand India better, that he had a simplistic view that he would go and get a deal on Kashmir and come back, that it wasn't so simple. So I think Agra was a great tutorial for both the leaders to understand each other better.
Sir, now rewinding back a little, going to Agra Summit. In fact, you have also served with Prime Minister Vajpayee. And there was a very, very interesting episode which you mentioned in your book about the Agra Summit. Largely, there was a narrative that Mr. Advani vetoed it and the Agra Summit failed. But what you are suggesting is a different side of the story. I will be grateful if you can throw some light on that also.
Yes, I think the narrative, part of it was promoted by Pakistan and by Musharraf himself in his book, which said there were certain hawks in India, and he named also Mr. Advani, who were preventing an outcome of a good document that was coming out of Agra. But the facts are different. The fact is that what was responsible was Musharraf's overreach on Kashmir. He wanted to link every development in the document with movement on Kashmir. He wanted to link progress on everything with Kashmir. He didn't allow too much of a reference to terrorism in the drafts that were being discussed. And therefore, the summit failed because there was too much of a gap between Pakistan's position and India's position. So Mr. Advani and the entire CCS, the Cabinet Committee on Security members, were present in Agra. And all of them had a fairly consensual view on this, that this is not something we should allow. We should not let him get away with it. So that was the reason for the failure and not personality.
Question number one, when you said that there was an attempted call by the Imran Khan, was this episode mentioned by Prime Minister Modi in some of his speeches? Was that the Qatal ki raat he was referring to?
Yes, the Prime Minister did mention this in his campaign speech. He was talking and he did refer to this episode. But Imran Khan also referred to this episode in his own speech in Parliament, that he had made an attempt to talk to the Indian Prime Minister. And apart from that, there was a conversation in Pakistan's Parliament also, which has been reported by Pakistan's an MP. He mentioned that both Foreign Minister Qureshi and the Army Chief Bajwa came to brief the MPs and said there's a serious the danger of the crisis escalating and India taking hard action, and therefore we should return the pilot.
Sir, now